Merry Christmas, everyone, and welcome back to Pokepaint, the series where I develop locations, concepts, and most importantly, new Pokemon for a hypothetical region based on New England, Coloniar. This week on Pokepaint, we set out from Iridestone Town with our second gym badge in tow, heading to the southernmost point of the city and to the edge of the coast. A bridge connects the mainland to Cape Amity and Route 4, a winding route high up on a seaside cliff, winding through sea caves and dipping occasionally to water level, and the beaches that dot the cape. Here, along with a strong sea breeze and a smell of sea salt, can be found the returning Pokemon Wingull, Dwebble, Krabby, Pincurchin, Skrelp, and Barbaracle. Climbing up to the tip of Cape Amity, you come to the foot of a lighthouse with a small settlement around it. Not big enough to actually be a town, but big enough to have a Pokemon Center and a bike shop. Here, there would be some story beats involving the evil team, but to avoid spoilers for that video, the long story short is you end up getting an all-terrain bike similar to what you get in Sword and Shield. This allows you to traverse Route 5, a deep and sometimes dangerous route stretching out into the ocean. With high waves and new Pokemon to battle, it's both a challenge of navigation and to keep your head above water. Amongst the crashing waves and stormy seas can be found the Pokemon Carvanha, Jellicent, Vampira, Wishiwashi, as well as the new Pokemon Divuna and Eel Acute. And on rare occasions, Sharpedo and the evolved form of Eel Acute, Eel Bolt. Jumping into the new Pokemon for this week, we have the Eel Acute line. This one actually came out of a random sketch I did that I liked, and continued to develop further. It eventually became the final form of this line, an electric eel Pokemon with bioluminescent fins and body patterns. Then from there I actually designed the evolution line backwards. So here, with no further explanation, is Eel Acute, the electric eel Pokemon, from the word eel and acute, meaning small, whilst also sounding similar to electrocute. It is, of course, an electric water-type Pokemon, with the possible abilities Swift Swim and Static. And now for the second stage, Eel Bolt, from Eel and Thunderbolt. And finally, the last stage, Thundrel, from the words thunder and tendril. For the next Pokemon, I wanted to do a Bluefin Tuna Pokemon since fishing for tuna is a common profession, at least to my understanding, for the real-life residents of Cape Cod, which of course is the real-life equivalent to Cape Amity. This line I designed in the same way. I figured out what the final form would look like, and I almost reverse engineered it from there, which, believe it or not, is a lot easier that way. This Pokemon is the common fish of the region, named Divuna, a diving Pokemon, from dive and tuna. It's just a plain water type with the ability Swift Swim, inspired by the real-life tuna's blinding speed. In its final form, it takes the design concepts of a deep-sea tuna and a deep-sea armored fish and combines them in a literal way. I came up with a little idea of making the gill flaps appear to be like the chin grade from a medieval knight's helmet, and I just kind of ran with that. I also developed an overall form with plate armor to give it a more unique design. My original concept for this was actually for it to be a 3-stage line, then went from a tuna fish without armor to one with chain armor, then to plate armor. But what I originally drew ended up being kind of too visually confusing, so I took out the middle form. The final form would be a water steel type called Gigantuna, from gigantic and tuna, for the real-life tuna's absolutely massive size. Okay, yeah, so recently I discovered that tuna range between 3 and 5 meters. That's like an average of 14 feet or something. 14! I've gone my entire life without knowing this information. I thought they were like a foot long or something. Am I just dumb? Is this common knowledge? Yeah, probably. Anyway, coming to the bottom of Route 5, you land on the shores of Kamrick Island. Okay, it's explanation time. Many of you observant viewers who are also fans of classic movies probably caught on to this cape being named after Amity Island from the Jaws films, and that this island's name is a shorthand for the phrase lights, camera, action. This is because back in the early 70s, the island Martha's Vineyard was the home of the filming location of Jaws, which of course is why Sharpedo appear in the waters of Route 5. Why the gym here is led by not just a gym leader, but a filmmaker as well. His name is Gym Leader Spielsbeer. Yeah, I know, creative name. Going to the gym and battling the trainers, you discover that the main battlefield is empty, with no gym leader to be found. So you get from one of the trainers that he's wrapped up with a film shoot out on Route 5, so you go out into the stormy waters to find him. After some exploration, you come across a film set of a wrecked ship in the middle of the ocean. You find and approach Mr. Spielsberg, interrupting and ruining the take. Furious, the gym leader orders you to stand aside while they do another take. However, before you can start, the evil team attacks, and yeah, I'm gonna have to leave out plot points again, but I promise I'll resolve it all in a later video. After the battle, the gym leader sees potential in not just your battling, but a possible film star career as well, and he challenges you on the terms that your battle will be filmed and put in the movie. Each Pokemon he has is a reference to a Steven Spielberg film. Since, if you haven't guessed by now, by the name and the context, which I'd be surprised if you didn't, is a stand-in for him. He sends out a level 23 Sableye with the ability Stall and the moves Payback, Knockoff, Drain Punch, and Protect. His next Pokemon is Coloniar native Cephalula with the ability Vampirism and the moveset Knockoff, Octolock, Giga Train, and Payback. and his ace, and the star of the next film, a level 25 Sharpedo, is of course an allusion to one of his most famous films, Jaws. Sharpedo would have the ability Rough Skin and the moves Crunch, Aqua Jet, Poison Fang, and Whirlpool. If you manage to defeat this daunting team, you will be rewarded with the Screenplay badge, and the promise that all Pokemon up to level 40 will obey you. With the weather cleared up and the seas now calm, you backtrack on Route 5 to the mainland in your next challenge. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Pokepaint. We'll be back soon with some more Pokemon designs. If you enjoyed this video and wanted to suggest a Pokemon, please leave it in the comments below because I'd love to make it a reality. Or if you just like art videos and you want to see more, then turn on the bell to get notified when I upload next.